Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you got audio this time. I'm not sure whether we have, so give us feedback. Can you hear me? And if you can, I'll carry on. But anyway, it's day 172 in the GGR, and you'll notice there's no finger, and your screen's probably a bit clearer because we're trying a new system which will allow us to do lots of different things once we sort out the audio. So, assuming you're hearing me, the first thing I want to say is that we have been looking at some of the website figures, and we'll talk about this a bit going forward. But the website's going nuts. Since the race started, we've had 155 million individual hits on the website. So I'm getting a thumbs up. Oh, we've got audio. Ooh, that's exciting. So anyway, 155 million individual hits on the GGR website, and unique visits to the site is virtually 1 million. Now, what that tells you, you've got 1 million unique visits to the website, and yet there's 155 million hits. So each of those people, when they're visiting, they're going all over the website, which is amazing. There's lots of things to see. There's the tracker updates, there's the daily reports, there's the technical galleries on the boats, there's the video tours, all those sorts of things, which is really quite powerful. So we're very happy to have everyone involved with that. And the number of unique visits, is running at nearly 3 million, and page openings, there's over 12 million. So the website's really working. We're very happy with those numbers. So that's pretty cool. YouTube going off the planet as well, 1.5 million views since the race started, and they're long views as well. People are sticking around and having a look. Our Instagram reach is, up around nearly 900,000. Facebook page reach is over 1.5 million people, or 1.6 million people, which is pretty good for us. And the incredible bit is all your comments and likes and emotions. We're running at 454,000 reactions, likes, and comments, which is powerful. Likes and reactions alone, if you take out the comments, is 390,000 as well. So, comments running at 44,000, our shares 16,000, link clicks something like 132,000. So those statistics are very powerful for us, and we'll be doing a big report later on at the end of the race on everything that's happening, and hopefully we'll find a partner for 2026. But anyway, on to the tracker. So hopefully you're still hearing me. You'll notice we've got no finger. Ooh, that's exciting. And the screen is shut up, Sab and Lutz. Anyway, so this could be the new way forward. And using this system is different than the one that Seb's using, and we've got some plans that we might be able to add some features as we go. So anyway, to the guys and girls on the track. So, the other thing I mentioned, in fact, we'll be with these new features, we'll do different things. But just to keep you updated on what Guy's doing, Guy's down around here at the moment. He's just entering the Pacific. So every Friday, we'll give you a bit of an update on what he's on to, and we'll be a bit better prepared next Friday. So you can get onto his Facebook page that links to his tracker. He's got his own tracking page there, but he's doing okay. So he's down around this position right now. Other interesting thing is Jeremy sent us a message last night. He said, "Hey, Don, did Chichester have to go through and avoid the no-go zone, or can he cut the corner? Because he'd like to cut the corner." And I put it to him, well, when you're in Chichester class, we don't really have the ability to penalise you. So if you did, nothing will happen to you. But it's a bit of a moral thing. We like the idea of sticking to the zone, because remembering we did this zone to assist the various rescue coordination centres around the world. It's a commitment that we've given them. So let's just see what Jeremy does. But yeah, he knows he'd be a lot better off coming down here. But at the moment, I see he's holding his own. So okay, back to Ian. Not doing a lot at the moment. 0.2 of a knot average over the last 4 hours. He moved a little bit better on the previous 4 hours. But yeah, we predicted that, and if I blow that up, it's not a lot he can do. He's just lucked out there. Jeremy, on the other hand, he's doing quite well. He's making 6.5 knots, 127 nautical mile a day, and I'll just pan this back a little bit, and we'll see what's going to happen to their weather going forward. So, boom, boom, boom. If we bring this through, Ian's still going to ride that down for about the next 6 hours. He's running right down the middle of no wind. So, and then Jeremy will move forward a bit, but he's going to get a bit of a puff before it actually, and he might get blown into the zone, which I won't worry about. He just runs off on that. And normally, if there was any boat there that got a big push like that, we would have allowed a normal entrant into the zone as well, to sail it as best they can. So, but it moves very quickly ahead of him, so it's not going to impact too bad, and it intensifies as it goes forward. So he's got a day or so. That's basically a day ahead. So he's got some challenges there, and there's not much wind, and then he gets a sou'wester. So we keep an eye on all that, but he's got a challenging, confusing time without being dangerous, touch wood. So, and Ian, he gets the breeze eventually, but not going to be very fast days, but they're all reasonably happy. So I'll pull that back there, and we'll move on down here. It's been interesting to watch how it's been going with Simon and come on. Simon and Captain Goog down here. It was good to speak to Michael yesterday and get some info on how he's been running his storm tactics during that blow, and he's certainly mastered his chain and warps. Most people have been going with warps, but chains have been used by a few of the entrants now. The weight just angles the warp down deeper in the water, which creates more friction, which is a good idea, and it's not that hard to recover. So it seems to be working for him, and he'd been thinking about that for a long time. So I think he'd be happy to have actually used it, which is kind of cool. And then if you've been following Simon, as we said before, he had to rocket south to get rid of the heavy weather, which he's done. So he's now going for the Horn. And Michael's challenged with this current wind direction, but I'll scroll it through. In fact, I'll give you the distances at the moment from the Horn so you can see their objective. So Simon's currently 210 nautical miles, and Goog's about 165. Goog's not in a commanding position to get to the Horn in a hurry right now. He's going to get blown down a bit. So Simon will probably pick up on that. He's holding a course direct. And as they scoot along, this big weather coming from behind, you'll see what happens. This is as the hours move on. By the time this system gets to them, they'll be a lot further along towards Cape Horn. Simon will be down around here somewhere. And Goog's been blowing south, but he'll slowly be able to catch up and head back up. And hopefully he gets to see the Horn. On that issue right now, if I hit this, it's still nighttime. Okay, so the daylight, but there's still 200 miles, still another day and a bit yet, so it's not a problem. But they're in the dark right now. So anyway, coming back to them and following their weather a bit. So coming up to 24 hours from now, you see it starts to go light and very confusing. So Michael will actually be able to come up on that. That's basically 24 hours from now. So you can see those stronger winds have backed off. They've still got on the beam. Google will come up. He'll come up in that. But the sea state may still be high. They've had some big waves that take a while to die down. Yeah, there it is there. So we can't see the scale on the screen. I'll have to shrink it. So that's still 6 meters or so there. So they're both riding big seas. And when there's not much wind, you just slat around and slop around, which isn't much fun. But anyway, at least they'll be able to sail. But it'll be very messy, very demanding, very uncomfortable as well. So that's the first day. And then we'll come forward another. Still very confusing winds, but at least it now swings around. So for both of them, on the next day, it's going light, but it's in the right direction. And once that happens, I think the sea should drop off not very slowly. So they've still got a big sea. That's going to make some fun stories. Anyway, at least there's no storms there. The storms have stayed above them, okay, moving right across the top of the Cape. If I go the other way, you'll see what happens. That big blow just went straight across the top of them, straight across the bottom of South America here, and it's not actually impacting them. So, okay. So sometime that's probably Saturday, might be Sunday before you see them actually get around. And then once they've done that, I'd say it's probably going to be Sunday now before they get there. And then if we quickly zip the weather through, it's all looking very benign. They'll move into very calm seas, and they'll be around the corner before this squeeze comes. So they'll be over here then riding this northwester and just reaching up towards the Falklands. I think on that sort of weather, they'll probably miss a stretch over to La Mer, and they're going to get a kick along for sure. So, but it's getting a bit too far advanced for that. So I'll pull it back, and we'll move up to Abolish Abolish and Kirsten. We had some good discussions about this yesterday with someone who's dreaming about the idea of Kirsten winning the race, but I can assure you it's far from over right now. And it's still anyone's game. And even for Goog, if we look at the situation now, let's just look at the distances for Cutting Goog to Abolish, 750 miles. That's seriously in touch. So we'll wait and see what happens, but he's not a long way behind. And right now, when I measure this distance, I could say that Kirsten and Abolish are near enough to 600 miles apart because Abolish has caught up a bit. He sailed really well and had the right breezes. But if we come back to the run line and look at the distance, it's actually a lot shorter. You'll see here there's only 440 miles difference on the run line, if you know what I mean. Because if that's the way that you're going, then that's more of a relevant figure. So he's only 400 miles behind, 440 miles behind. And okay, I digress here because I'm starting to talk about the tactics. If we go back to the reality of the course, in my opinion, for Kirsten to be in a commanding position, she needs to be 500 miles in front on the other side of the doldrums up here. If she can be 500 or 600 miles in front, coming out of the doldrums, then she's got a really commanding position to try and stay in front of Abolish. The Russell 36 actually goes to weather really well, especially in light winds. So what you might see is challenges all the way up to here. And if they're neck and neck getting through the other side of the doldrums, and that's not a good look for Kirsten because Abolish's boat and his skills they match each other. But I'd say Abolish's boat, this is going to be a lot of windward work here. You see the trade winds coming down. And, the trade winds are, you go on the nose there, it's wet sailing and stuff. So she's going to need to hang on to that lead as hard as she can. Anyway, coming back to their real-time weather now and see what the options are. So Kirsten's been doing 6.3 knots and 140 nautical miles a day. Abolish has been doing, I'll get rid of those things. Abolish has been doing 6.4 knots and 162 nautical miles a day. Generally, Abolish has been moving faster in the last 20 hours or so. So, but they're both looking pretty good. This is a good kick for Kirsten with this southwesterly, and Abolish has now got a northwesterly. He'll run along the side of that, and it'll depend what happens to the position of this high here. So I'll toggle it through. Oh, boy. Toggle it through now. It's moving, so you can watch what happens. Kirsten's now at risk of having the center of the high come over the top of her, which looks pretty real. And Abolish will be forced out to the east with this. That's a solid breeze. It's 30 gusting 40, maybe in the top bits here, 28 gusting 38 or something. But he's got a bit of breeze on the beam. Depends what the sea state's like. That'll determine where he goes. So if we look at the waves, pretty solid. That's 5-6 meters. So whereas the sea's dying off for Kirsten. So you'll definitely see him come out here following Kirsten. And overall, that's not a bad position for the tactic for going north because they're going to get some changes. Here comes the other side of the high for Kirsten, which is sort of going to be headwinds depending on whether that goes up or south or north. And Abolish will ride that through. And Kirsten, this is now just a little bit more than a day away, 24 hours. That's not too bad. She can still keep coming out on this because she's on the bottom of it. But the further she goes up, the more it comes on the nose. You can see that there. So Abolish is looking good. He's got a following breeze. And then Kirsten got a complete mixed bag. She'll come out of this on port tack, heading out this way somewhere. So that's not too bad. And then we'll see what happens to this system here. That's going to be some strong headwinds. So you see a complication already in 2 days ahead for Kirsten. And this is where everything's driven. These headwinds, which can go for weeks, are driven by the South Atlantic High, our good friend. Here's Cape Town over there. This dictates the weather entirely. And this is the back edge of the high, which is going to go that way. And this is the leading edge of this little low forming there, which is a nightmare potentially for Kirsten. But it's very unpredictable. Everything here moves around really quickly and strangely. This little low pressure system can turn into a high. You watch what happens here. You don't really know. So some challenges ahead, and watch this space for these two. This is going to be a really good race, and tactically as well, governed by the weather. So, but nonetheless, That's what you call yacht racing. So that's it for today. I hope this system works, and I hope it come up on YouTube, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I don't turn it off. Jane has to turn it off in the other room. So you can kill it, Jane.
Where's the finger?